All right. All right. We are live. What's up, everybody? We are live. Shout out to you guys watching this right now. We are live. Welcome to another session of the Kavga podcast. You guys already know. What's up, everybody? My name is Will. I'm the host of this show, the number one Polynesian podcast in the world. Oh, wow. Let's get it on. As you guys can see, we have a full panel of great Pacific Islander men and women on the podcast tonight. As you guys already know, the topic. We have a very hot topic, controversial topic, great topic, and must topic to discuss within our Pacific Islander community. Definitely get ready. We have a great discussion for you guys tonight. If you're tuning in for the very first time, thank you so much for tuning in. Much love to you guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in for my weekly live shows every single Wednesday. And of course, to all my subscribers out there, the people that support and subscribe to my channel and follow my channel. Thank you so much for the love and support. You guys already know what to do. If you love the content, appreciate the discussions we do weekly and all the work that I do for you guys. Don't forget to smash and press that like, subscribe button real quick. You do get the notifications when we do go live every single week. Don't forget, I have a quick disclaimer out there. You know, my boy Savage.
This content is not suitable for the children under the age of 18 without adult supervision. Please be advised.
Be advised. So we're gonna have some good discussion tonight because we have a great topic to discuss. Don't forget, if you're under the age of 18, have adult supervision. Real quick for you guys. But don't forget, this is a public show, so let me know where you guys tuning in from. I see some of you guys already tuning in already. I see the viewership going up already. Let me know what you guys think. I always appreciate your opinions and perspectives of what you guys think, whether you agree or disagree on the different topics that we always discuss weekly. So thank you so much. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know where you guys tuning from. And don't forget to show some love on the chat if you support the channel. Don't forget, this is a public show. So I do invite people to come on. So if you're watching this right now, if you're not familiar with my content, if you're here for the first time, I do invite people to come on and be part of the podcast as an open podcast. So I will post the public link on the live channel on YouTube. I know that some of you guys did reach out to me on Instagram and ask me how to get on the podcast because this was a topic that you guys want to add on to the discussion. I'm going to post a public link on YouTube. So if you're watching this from Facebook, if you're watching this from Twitch, you have to come to YouTube. I know there was a lot of people that was triggered by Taniela.
You triggered my trap card.
on TikTok, a lot of people were, majority of people I saw in the comments disagreed. It was coming from Taniela, who is here on our podcast on the panel tonight to further explain his point of view on that video. But we're gonna center the topic of discussion for based on that topic that we're gonna discuss tonight. So I do invite you guys to come on, especially the people that disagree. Whether you agree or disagree, let's come on and have an open discussion and add on to the conversation. So don't forget, we'll be posting the public channel on YouTube. Click on that link and jump on real quick. And don't forget the super chat donations. You guys already know everybody the financial donates to my channel. Thank you so much. Every single donation goes back to my podcast to give you guys better quality content. And of course, I'm launching my podcast studio at the end of this year, 2023, to have in-studio live podcast. Thank you so much. Shout out to you guys. You guys already know, putting overtime to give you guys a better quality content, take my game to the next level, and just to give you guys the best content I can. And like I said, thank you so much for the super chat donation. So if you have a specific question or topic, I know a lot of you guys reach out to me on Facebook and Instagram and ask me different questions related to this topic. Ask it through a super chat donation to support me. So also make it a priority, and we can get live responses from all the guests tonight, and we can discuss a lot of the questions you guys may have. If you don't want to jump on and be part of the live podcast, maybe you're too shy, ask it through a super chat donation, so that way we can reciprocate your support, and we can still give you guys some value from tonight's discussion. So, but that's pretty much all my YouTube stuff. Thank you so much, everybody. Shout out to you guys. Let's get the live chat going. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know where you guys tuning in from. Press that like, subscribe button real quick. But first and foremost, shout out to the guests real quick, the panel. All right. Taniela, the Fraudcast, Savage Island, thank you guys so much for jumping on. Always appreciate you guys. Always an honor to have you guys be part of the show. I'll definitely drop their links on the bottom of the description of this video so you guys can support them and their platforms, because a lot of them have their own podcasts and social media platforms. Please support them as well. But nevertheless, everybody, I know some people probably watching this right now, they may not know who you are. Can you guys go ahead and give yourselves some quick introduction for people who may not know who you are and just tuning in for the very first time on the podcast tonight? I'll start with you, the Fraudcast podcast founder. Go ahead, Tui. and introduce yourself real quick.
Hi everybody, my name is Taniela. I am a nobody who's somebody to somebody.
All right. Thank you so much, Tui. Always a pleasure to have you on tonight's discussion and be part of the panel. I'll pass it to you, Savage. Savage, go ahead, Doko.
Hey, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Savage Island. I'm Tongan American, and I'm 33 years old. I am always honored, and it's always a delight to be on Will's platform, the Kava Club podcast, because, in all honesty, it's so provoking that I know people who hate this podcast are still watching, and that makes me feel good because that's how business goes. If you're not controversial these days, if you're not trying to provoke the masses, you're not really trying at all. And so, my hats off to you, Will. I'm here to back my Toko Taniela because I absolutely agree with what he said, and I can't wait to get this discussion going. So, Tui, thank you for also being here. But yeah, let's get it going, man. I'm excited.
I love it. I love it already, Doko. Love it, Savage. You already know how we do, Savage, man. If we're not triggering, we're not trying. So hopefully by the end of this podcast, we're gonna make a lot of people tonight that's watching this right now have
emotional. Damn it!
but nevertheless, yeah, whether you agree or disagree, shout out to you guys. Well, people support my channel. If you hate my channel, hey, if you keep watching, thank you for the indirect support. You're watching anyway. So much love to you guys. Anyway, I'll pass it to the main person of the hour, who is the very reason why we're having this discussion tonight. Taniela, go ahead and introduce yourself. And of course, anything you want to say to all the people out there that were in the comments. Go ahead, Taniela.
Yep. So following up behind Savage in the sense of, again, well, thank you so much for the opportunity to jump on and share, I guess, our opinions. But yeah, I won't waste too much time. I'm Taniela, if you haven't already known. If you're here from TikTok or Instagram, please jump on. A lot of people are, as I see through the comments, are talking about our ancestors and claiming a lot of that energy. And one of the things our ancestors upheld to the highest standards was mana. And if your mana was challenged by that video, it is only right that you come on and face me face to face so we can have this discussion. But other than that, a little bit of background on myself. I was born and raised in Tonga. I'm an immigrant here in New Zealand. And to those talking about colonizations and whitewash and whatnot, hey, at least I'm not a tourist when I go home. So we'll leave it at that and let's get it going.
All right, no worries. Let's make it happen. Thank you so much, Daniela. I see you too wonderful in the live chat. He said, already time to play. You already know, Togo. Time to play. Let's make it. We're going to have a great discussion tonight. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you have any questions, drop it through a super chat donation. And I'll be able to post the link pretty soon if you guys want to jump on. I know some of you guys did message me, and definitely jump on and be part of the discussion tonight. But yeah, let me go ahead and play I'm gonna start off with playing the little reaction video. I know some of you guys are probably tuning in for the very first time, so you guys have context of why we have this discussion. So I'm gonna play the video, a lot of that stirred up of the reason why we're having this podcast, so that way you guys get some context, and then I'll allow the guests to go ahead and ask the responses real quick. So let's play the video real quick that got everybody stirred up. Was Daniela's take on why Pacific Islanders are not unique. So let me just put everybody in mute, and I'm gonna play the 59-second video real quick. And of course, as you guys reacted to the video right now on the live stream, let me know what you guys think. If you're watching for the first time, you never watched the video, let me know what your initial reactions as you reacted to the video for the first time. I want to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear what you guys think about as you're watching the reaction video. So let me play the video, Daniela, I posted a couple weeks ago.
Other than language, maybe. But if you really dissect it, we put a lot of importance into camaraderie, respect. Not only that, our economical status is probably, which what Savage was touching on. As elders, you hardly see any elder sort of working to have any monetary value exchange. Vast majority of our elders looked after, they stay home, They either look after the house or they're catered for. So in terms of what's unique to us, we're all human beings in the most simplest terms. The only thing that we can claim uniqueness to is probably our travel throughout the moana and our history. That's what sets us apart, is that we're probably the sort of last surviving warrior race and navigators of the human race, essentially.
All right. So I just wanted everybody to see if you, so that way, if you're not familiar with the discussion and why we're having this discussion, it's pretty much a reaction to that video. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think of the live chat. But Taniela, I'll let you start off with the podcast. I see Tutasi just with a quick comment, real quick. Tutasi 700. Greetings, Lord, from the Most High. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe and like and share, and much love. Hey man, thank you so much, Tutasi 700. Always much love, man. Always thank you so much for all the love and support you always show on the podcast or live chat. Thank you so much, man. Shout out to you, Coco. But Daniela, yeah, Daniela. So that obviously, I want to start off with you. Obviously, it was your video, it was your take. A lot of people were coming for you. A lot of people did disagree. So this is an opportunity for you to kind of explain yourself a little bit more. Because that was a 59-second video. So I'll let you start off. And to start off the discussion, go ahead, Daniela. The topic: are Pacific Islanders unique or average in 2022?
Look, we once were. We come from a long line of ancestors who done many great things, especially in, well, we know our history in the Pacific. Without going too much into missionaries' account, but through our oratory history, we were once a unique culture and race of people in the way that we navigated through the Pacific Ocean. And that can be witnessed through a multitude of things, not only through the technology we used in terms of seafaring, but also the land. Vast majority of our food and the land weren't native to us. You know, our livestock weren't native. Vast majority of our plantations were native. Sweet potato, for an example, was traced back to the South Americans, right? So in terms of who we were as people, we challenge a lot of things, and when we found places that we wanted to settle in, if the condition weren't right, we adapted in ways that was beneficial to us. It's no longer the case in 2022, unfortunately. And a vast majority of the narrative now is that we're pointing fingers. And I see a lot of that, we're pointing fingers. And I get that there, with the whole discussion of colonization and being whitewashed or Eurocentric, I get the whole argument. But as an immigrant, the life that I grew up knowing, I was raised into, I could not imagine this I could live a million lifetime in Tonga and never could imagine that I'll be sitting here in New Zealand having a conversation with people all around the world like you guys. When you're born into a certain environment, especially like the ones in Tonga, you look at it as just your little island. But I guess the blessings that has allowed me to sort of migrate overseas have allowed me to see both sides of the fence. And that's where my take comes from, is that I'm proud to be Pacific Islander. I'm proud to be Tongan. But if there's any question to be asked, whether we're unique or not, we're not. And if people are trying to argue that point, there are many negative things that are associated with us that are by choice. And if we really want to go down that road, let's bring it all up. Let's define what's unique about us in a positive manner, and let's also bring the bad things. But in saying that, we all face issues like any other species on this planet. And to say we're unique, I think it's a very delusional way of looking at our culture. We have beautiful cultures, we have beautiful customs, but in terms of uniqueness, I can't agree with that.
Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you so much, Daniela. Thank you for your take. I see Joe Latu in the live chat. It says sweet potato was from South America. Fire emoji. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Joe Latu. Shout out to me. Thank you for being on the live chat tonight. And don't forget, everybody, shout out to you guys on the live chat. Let me know what you guys think. Let me pass it to you. The fraudcast. What do you think, Tui? What do you think about the discussion, the topic? Are Pacific Islanders unique or average in 2022?
I'm gonna say that culturally, I mean, if we're talking about uniqueness, I mean, we have a lot of similarities culturally to the Latin American culture, honestly. But I mean, we're as far as Pacific Islanders being unique now, no. Why? Because we are just more squirrels trying to save our nuts. Nowadays, let's be realistic. Polynesians are just trying to get by. And there are a handful, maybe, who are trying to break out of a social norm that that we have placed on our own people, like a social norm that we place on ourselves of not reaching further, not seeing a bigger picture. I mean, to me, I would say that our culture would make us unique. But I mean, as far as individuals, I mean, I would say that we're fuck it. I would say that most of us are below average. Let's be real. Like we stay with what's comfortable. A lot of us don't break out into other fields of, for example, a lot of other people don't break out into other fields such as science or engineering. Like I went into a finance field. Not a lot of Polynesian females go into that. Polynesians go into nursing or teaching, construction. But there's nothing wrong with these things. But we stay with what's comfortable and what we deem as normal. I don't think we necessarily are unique. But I mean, us being such a small population, I mean that does. I believe our culture does. Man, I don't know. I really wish I would have watched the whole thing because I can't speak on this right now. Come back to me. Savage, you go.
Just say it, Tui, and we'll figure out later.
I know, right? Like I'm trying. Like while Taniela was speaking, I was like, "Are we?" I mean, I'm basically insulting our people by saying that we're below average. But the truth is, we kind of are because we have so much potential. Our people are so fucking intelligent and beautiful and good. Like we're good looking people. You know what I'm saying? Like why are we not? Why do I not see more of us in media? Why do like a lot of Polynesian women are good with money? Why are they not in finance? Like why are they just teaching? Like you see so much untapped potential, and the thing is our people are good storytellers. We say, oh, we could totally do this because we're great at this, we could get this together because we're really good at this, but then you never see anything happen. And I always wonder why. Like I wanted to do so. I wanted to set out to do something. I'm not, I wasn't financially equipped to do it, but I did it because that's what I wanted to do. So, like for me, it's weird to see people talk about things but not do it. You know, and it's just what I see amongst the Polynesian community itself, which is sad, but it's kind of expected. So I'm not surprised. Well, I just sounded like a dick through that whole thing. I'm so sorry, guys.
No, it's good. It's good. All right, yeah. Thank you for your take, Tui. Always appreciate you on the podcast. Well, let me pass it to you, Savage. Savage, go ahead, Togo. Do your thing. What do you think about the topic? A Pacific Islanders unique or average in 2022?
I'm so used to saying shit that just goes viral because of the lack of context that our people just will not find. I went on your page the other day and I just looked at how viral the video I was in. 24,000 right views, hella likes and comments, and yet none of these dumbasses had context. Tongans are so fucking stupid that you will take a 15-second clip and you can make it be anything. Well, I applaud your how good you are at provoking the masses, right? Because you throw a little bit out there, it's bait. And you can reel in anything. If Tongans were fishes, bro, you would be eating for years. because of the lack of context that we will not find. You know what's unique about us is the stereotypes we manage to prove every fucking day, right? If you don't meet the average amount of stereotypes, then you're below that. And why I bring that up, right? Because Taniela said very clear and cut what made sense. What pissed people off was, the timing of the clip. You saw the clip as how ignorant. How could he say that? He said it because he's experienced it, dumbass. He's a part of the race. I'm not talking about the race of Tongans or Islanders. He's in the rat race to make money and pay bills, right? He's in the race to make sure he's setting a good example for his kids and his family, just like any of us. And the only thing that people found problematic was context. That's what you had the problem with. Why would he say that? And here's the problem I have more than anything. Honestly, and everybody highlights this guy right now, Andrew Tate, right? We had william-nacouzi before Andrew Tate came. That's who my Andrew Tate is william-nacouzi. Because it's not that Will's good at making you come looking. It's he knows how to make you look. Will's not a bad guy, but most people wouldn't know that because you don't talk to him. So if he puts a 30 to 45-second clip of something that doesn't make sense, but if he puts a title that says, "Are Pacific Islanders all gay?" right? You get triggered because, what the fuck? We're not all gay. But your dumbass would prove the fact that we're not Asian, are we? Why? What are Asians associated with? Smart people. Anytime you see an Asian in school, one of the first stereotypes that'll play in your mind is, oh, that motherfucker must be smart. Jesus Christ. That guy's smart. When you look at us, what's the one thing that might be unique? He plays sports. Yep. Rugby, football. That's the guy right there. That shit ain't unique, you dumbass. You know what would be very unique? Is if you saw us in a computer program in the top percentile of the smartest kids in the school. That's not happening. That's what unique is. Unique is when you can stand in the categories that we are not known in, right? Because not only is our population small, I'll be very honest with you, we're even closer to extinction than we are making a mark in this world. Probably less than 1 million. If we put all of us together in the Pacific, we still don't amount to a population here in the world. That's fucking unique. That's unique to me. You know what's even more unique? If one of us wrote a book of how all this shit went down from the beginning to where we're at now, that's unique. You know where that information is? It's gone. So when people like Taniela or Tui or Will is out there trying to push the envelope to find more opportunities for us to fill out these categories, oh, he's the fucking drama. These Kakai Tonga there, man, they think they know everything. Fie poto. Saying all that shit and don't even know the culture, don't know how to speak the language, don't know the tradition. Suck my dick. I'm not even mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I'm hurt because we can't be looked at as scientists. I'm hurt because we can't looked at as doctors. It's not normal. If you saw me in public, you would run up to me, hey, what football team do you play for? Motherfucker, I haven't played football in years. I haven't played football in years. How do you know I'm not a historian? But that wouldn't matter because I fit the stereotype. You know? And that's the part with this whole unique and average thing is, if it was really true about how unique we were, you know what I'm saying? Then the unique is defined by those who see us, the outside. Because to me, well, I'm used to seeing Samoans. It's not very unique to me. It's pretty average. You know what I'm saying? And then vice versa to Samoan. Oh, it's a Tongan. Yeah, he's just a Tongan guy, right? So to each other, that's not very unique. But when we come to places like America, Australia, or New Zealand, where we can stand amongst the crowd and then stick out, the crazy thing is when we think we're doing our own thing, we look over and then, oh, there's Shione, he's doing the same thing I'm doing. There's Malakai, he's doing the same thing I'm doing. There's Sia, there's Tasi. We're all doing the same shit out here, and nobody wants to break the mold. Nobody. So when you ask me, are we unique or are we average? It's going to be a very diverse answer, but for the time being right now, we are very unique, but we don't know why. That's honestly my answer. We are very unique. We just have yet to discover that shit. So, yeah.
All right. No worries. Thank you so much, Savage. Man, Savage came with the heat tonight. Always love the take on the Toko tonight. Thank you so much, Savage. I see some of you guys in the live chat already. I think Liti said, "Hey, watch your mouth." On the live chat. Hey, shout out to Liti. Thank you so much. And I see the Jolatu said, Daniela, nothing unique. All right. All right. So yeah, thank you for your first take, guys. I think Daniela brought it up. I want to ask you guys real quick because we did talk about like why there are certain things. People always talk about uniqueness. I just looked at the definition of uniqueness, being the only one of its kind, unlike anything else, right? So for people out there just listening right now, I just want to challenge you guys to think about: are we really unique? Are we really the only one of its kind? Are we really unlike anybody else? Because that's something I always hear from the Pacific Islander community. But if you look at it, if you look at our people, of all the things that we're struggling with, the two biggest things I saw, and that's why I agree with Daniela, as small as the minority of our population is, and as Pacific Islanders, but how come do we lead the world when it comes to obesity? How come do we lead the world when it comes to teenage? How come we are unique categories, even though like we're talking about the whole world now? We're talking about 7-8 billion people, and we are a speck of dust in the population compared to the entire world. But we are unique in that category of obesity, and we are unique in the category of teenage suicide rates. And I don't even know the other statistics for other things. We may be unique in other things, but the thing is, we're so small. There's not enough statistics and data out there. But we may be leading other categories. But that's the question. That's the question I want to ask everybody on this panel. Like, what are the things I think Daniela you brought up on your response? What are the things that we're unique at on a positive level, on a negative level? Let's talk about. Let's open that discussion tonight. Let's talk all about it. Savage, you want to add on something? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's crazy that you brought that up. We actually do place first in one category for sure, and that's when it comes to suicide, because of how small our population is. I think the study was like, I think in America, right? I don't know if this was an AAPI study. It's at least 1 out of 5 of us has made the attempt. 3 out of 7 has contemplated, right? And then 4 out of 12 have succeeded. That's not good, but we place, that's actually very unique. But there's a reason why that shit is happening. I got to find the statistic and I'll post it somewhere, but that is not a good thing to place first in, but it is unique.
Yeah. If you can find that, go post it on the live chat for everybody out there. But but this is why I'm always confused when I hear people talk about we have a great tradition, great culture, which I do agree. We have a great culture, we have great traditions as Pacific Islander people. But my question is, as great as our culture is, as great as our traditions are, why are these problems coming from the very culture that we grew up in? That people will consider great. So why are our kids and people? Why are people being obese? Why are our kids contemplating suicide? Why are people contemplating suicide and committing suicide? Even though we claim to say that we have a great, unique culture, but why are all these problems coming out from our culture and our people that's only unique to us and no other race and no other ethnicity and no other people in this world? And that's a problem for me. So, but I want to open up the conversation for you guys. Let's talk about let's talk about everything about what makes us unique, from the positive and the negative. Let's bring it to light, because we need a lot of people a lot of people in our community only want to talk about the good things about us, but nobody really wants to talk about the negative things that's really happening with our people. That's not helping us. That's not helping us progress, get better, and improve. And I think that's the conversation that people are afraid to have. That's a conversation people want to throw under the rug and avoid having. That's why a lot of people don't want to talk about it. But if we ever want to address these issues, if we ever want to progress as a people, we have to bring up these conversations, talk about these things, whether you like it or not. So, but yeah, let's talk about it. What are the things unique about us, positive and negative? It's all the stereotypes, all the things. Of course, if you guys have data, you guys want brought up, and read things that you guys saw also as well. You guys can bring up also, but I'll bring it back to you, Daniela. What are the positive negatives of all the things that's unique to us as a people?
So I'll start with the positive. We all know, like Savage said before, we all know as a Pacific Islander, we have the tendency to be very great, naturally gifted in physical stuff, especially in physical sports, in those sort of career. But also what Toi was saying earlier on, when we look at other areas, and I think Savage does touch on this too, especially the STEM fields, for some reason we don't promote that. I haven't seen a lot of promotion of it here in New Zealand. It's the same in Tonga. We don't promote those areas of, I guess, career choices if we want to pursue those. And here's the reason why that's a bit of concern for me, and it's part of our program here in New Zealand, is that if you really look, and if you're really open-minded, and you look at European and how they've dominated every power-based fucking structure throughout the however centuries they've been in power, they've managed to figure out a sustainable way of keeping power. Inheritance is not enough. If you're a race, you cannot just inherit wealth and maintain power. So there has to be some level of structure that they're operating under. This is not some conspiracy theories, but they are maintaining power. So where are they vastly majority of them maintaining power? In the STEM fields. This is where it generates a lot of wealth, and not only that, money is equal to power in our current landscape. So in terms of that, a positive of us is that we're physically talented. I wouldn't go as far as gifted, but some may argue that. But physicality has helped us, dominate in certain sports. So we are well known for that in our stereotypical labels. In terms of negatives, I think we already touched on the biggest one that I was going to touch on. Well, two of them: the obesity and the suicide. And we take the world by fucking storm. Like, it's very serious. It's a very serious issue, not only for the Pacific but also for Tongans. I think here in New Zealand, the stats is Pacific Islander lead the suicide stats, not only in New Zealand but OECD. But not only that, it's Tongans. Tongan men are killing themselves at a much higher rate than any other culture. So I think it's a very valid question what you ask, is why, when we have the tradition that we hold on so dearly to and claim a uniqueness, why is it that also it seems like that tradition has raised people to seek that as a final outcome to their life? Just about the last weekend, a young Tongan guy, 22-year-old father of two, successfully drove his car into a pole with his wife in the passenger seat while he live streamed the whole incident. And prior to that, over in Australia, a young father of one got stabbed in the neck by another Pacific Islander. So I guess we can talk about what's unique. I really can't pull anything out of the top of my head in terms of uniqueness and positive or negative. All I know is that we dominate the world in a lot of negative stats. And yet we turn a blind eye to it and not address it. But when someone says something very negative about our culture, we jump to defend it. And yet we won't do anything to help our own people when it comes to these negative stats. Obesity and suicide, one of the highest rate in the world, if not the highest. And not only that, sexual assault. I think I shared this to you privately. In Tonga, there's a rise in sexual assault and rape, domestic violence in Tonga. The first of its kind. There's now a group of women who've recently just built a women's refugee in Tonga, one of its very first of its kind, because the number had jumped from 3 cases maybe every 3 months to 30 every month of women seeking, a place to find shelter in. So, I mean, it's all bleak from the sound of it. It's all very bleak. But also at the same time, we have to do something. And if you're going to stand there and argue with me on the comment section, let's do something. At least come on the podcast and let's discuss. And if you want to help the culture, let's help the culture. One of the initiatives that we're working on now is pushing for immigration to allow overstayers here in New Zealand. Currently, we have 150 family, and the demand is going to double that by the end of the year. And that's the only that's the numbers we know. So yeah, I mean, I'm probably rambled on away to off topic, but I can't really comment in terms of positive and negative. We know the stereotypical labels that we're given, but is that sustainable for our communities? Is that leading us in a direction that is lifting us up rather than, you know, oh yeah, I'm the rugby guy, I'm the football guy, right? Oh, I'm Islander, I can eat a whole heap of food. Like, yeah, that's cool. It's a cool party trick, but what else? Are we going to start talking about our very bad relationship with drug and alcohol? Vast majority of our issue come from alcohol abuse, domestic violence, and rape in the families, usually initiated from a culture of abusing alcohol. Like, are we going to have these conversations and we're going to go out to the community and solve these issues, or are we just going to have a battle in the comment section saying, you know, I need to travel more? Like, but yeah, I'll leave it at that.
All right, no worries. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Daniela. And if everybody that's listening right now, whether you agree or disagree, I want to challenge you guys something. You know, I think Savage brought up a great point, and Daniela too, and Tui. What are we, you know, we always talk about our ancestors. Great. Our ancestors were great. You know, they were navigators. They were able to navigate without any modern tools. That, you know, that's a great feat and accomplish of itself. But when I ask everybody real quick, what are we doing today in 2022? That's what our ancestors did. What are we doing today to be known to be great and unique in this world? And unfortunately, like Savage said, and Taniela, like, besides, if you ask most people in this world that's not Pacific Islander what they think about Pacific Islander, the only thing that comes to their mind is sports. That's it. We're good at playing sports, but nothing else. There's no talk about there's no talk about the science field, the other fields, you know, different industries. It's the only thing that we're good at. Sports, and then for a lot of people, the only thing they know us is the negatives. You know, that we drink, we are fat, we're obese, we commit suicide. You know, we beat our wives or beat our husbands or whatever. We're physical. You know, our women are very physical. We fight all the time. So like, that's what, if you want to keep it real about it, that's what we're really known in the world. And what are we doing today to fix it? So we can sit here and talk about being unique and all of this, but talk about the past of what our ancestors did hundreds of thousands of years. But the question is, what are we doing today, 2022? And I think Joe Latu posted a comment, said, talk about it. I agree, Toko, but the thing is, what are we doing after the talking phase? I think that Tui brought up a great point too. We're great storytellers. You know, we just talk. That's all we do. What are we doing today to do something about it? So that's my challenge for you guys to watch this right now. What are the solutions? What are we actively doing in 2022 to make our own history? To make our own history, for that way, 100, 1,000 years from now, our future generation can look back and say, "Hey, we were proud of the generation from 2022." But our ancestors back in the day in the 1817, 1600s, are they the only one we're going to be proud of, and that stopped there? That we're not going to continue any kind of legacy? So that's just something I just want to challenge all you guys out there that's listening right now. What are we doing today in 2022 to make ourselves great besides playing sports? And that's it. All right. But let me pass it to you, Tui. The same question I'm going to ask you. What do you think about the uniqueness? What are the positive things that makes us unique? What are the negatives? I think Daniela said the positive list is short, but the negative list is longer than our positive list in the Pacific Islander community. But what's your thoughts about that, Tui? Oh, I think you're on mute.
I don't care about the positive shit. I came here to talk about the negative shit. So, y'all can come up with how you want to solve these problems by yourselves, for all you motherfuckers in the chat. But all I have to say is suicide amongst our people, I believe it is prevalent because tradition is only tradition in our culture when it's convenient for us. And it is impossible for our people, especially our young kids, to grow within a tradition and a culture that has no room for it. Like, I cannot tell you how sick I am of hearing tradition and it's not a part of our culture out of anybody's fucking mouths, because nobody completely keeps tradition or culture. Those two things are only convenient. Those things are only claimed by our people when it is convenient for them. They do our elders do not teach, not all, but the majority of our elders are not teaching us. And I mean, I'm speaking for myself. After I had to learn that shit by myself, you know, learn everything by myself because it was not taught to me. Why? Fuck if I know. You know what I'm saying? But our elders are not teaching us, and with the things that they are teaching us about our tradition and our fucking culture, it's not everything. So we're passing this on. I'm not just talking about our generation, but even my parents, that like the traditions they're passing on and teaching us about the culture is not everything. So we're constricted and confined to this small, tiny little fucking box of tradition, and we are not allowed to grow outside of that fucking box. And if we do, we're looked down upon, we're talked shit about, nobody supports us, we have to do it by our fucking selves. This is the problem. But the thing is, like, our people don't understand that it's fucking hard to do these things that you want to do outside of our tradition and culture. It's hard to do it by yourself, but it is doable. But nobody in our community will tell anyone that. All we get is respect your elders, respect your parents, take care of there's nothing wrong with taking care of your family, by the way, everybody. But take care of your elders. You have to do this. You have to be here. You cannot take that job. You cannot go to college unless you have a job and live at home and take care of shit, because we can't all pay bills. Like, this is what we're being told. This is what everyone is being told. No one is telling you or pushing you to be anything better than, no offense everybody, than working at the fucking airport or in construction. There's nothing wrong with those at all. I'm just giving examples. But realistically, nobody is pushing our people. And it does start as children. No one is pushing them to be bigger, bigger, to think out of the box. No one is pushing these kids or telling these kids. No one told me. No one told me that I could do something more. I discovered it by myself. Why? Because I graduated from a high school, a predominantly white high school in the mainland, not in Hawaii, in the mainland. That's how I figured shit out. And that was the saddest fucking realization. I had to go to a white fucking school to fucking figure out that I can do more than just have babies, have a family, and, teach or whatever.
Okay.
Anyway,
Shout out to all the white schools out there.
I fucking hate that, by the way. I fucking hate that shit. I hate that I even had to say it. But realistically, you go from a Hawaii education system to a Utah education system, and the differences are crazy. Like, I fucking hate that I even brought that up. But the truth of the matter is, the kids in the islands are not getting the same fucking education as the kids in the mainland are, depending on where you are. But still.
But say, yeah, I'm definitely gonna bring that topic at the end because discussion of white people, because a lot of people are saying, hey, the white people is the problem why we're not where we need to be, but at the same time, a lot of the people I
Yeah.
talked to who
Any
got
pol-
to address themselves, it's because of white people.
Yeah. Everyone's quick to blame the white people. No one says anything about the Asians. Like, if you want to get down to the real problem, everybody, the Asians are the ones buying up land, building up corporations on our islands. Not the white people. Those idiots just want a vacation here. Anyway, I'm sorry. My bad.
You're good. You're good. Thank you so much. Let me just thank you so much, everybody on the live chat. Thank you so much. I see some new people on the live chat for the first time. I see. Where's that comment? Dang. Ryu. There you go. So from all the way from Twitch, Ryu87 said some Pacific Islanders tribes could uniquely avoid seas without using modern tools, gauging the ocean waves or some shit. Yeah, man. Our ancestors are very intelligent. My question is, what happened to that in 2022? Where did that did that gene get lost in the passing of the like that's why we're having this podcast. I'm trying to figure out where did that intelligence and greatness, why did disappear? Like, why is not still continuing on today to be so we can become great navigators in our generation, right? and utilizing the modern tools that we have today. Our ancestors did it without tools, but today we have all the tools, but we're still just being complacent, doing nothing with our lives. So, and of course, Segment said, "Hey, education is not that high a standard anywhere." Hey, Segment, thank you so much for being on the podcast tonight. Appreciate you guys, Barbino. I see you, Barbino, being on the podcast tonight. Always appreciate you being on the live chat, and Joe Latu and all you guys. But let me pass it to you, Savage. Savage, I the same question I asked Tui and Daniela. Like what? Let's keep it real. What are we really unique for? What are the positive? What are the negatives?
I'll tell you what's unique, bro. What's unique to me these days and how I go about my studies is I'm on social media seeing what we're doing, right? That's because surprisingly, we actually have a very bigger population on social media than we actually do out there in the world as far as when it comes to innovation and what we're trying to push the envelope in those categories. For instance, I saw a Samoan creator on here who promotes their bakery, right? Now, in this village, that's not unique. It's not unique at all. But to the outside demographic, whoa, what is Pani Popo? What is that? Oh, wow, that's Kai. Wow, this is unique. Yes, because outside it's more appreciated where it's exotic. They want to try it. Oh my, have you heard of this place? It's in I don't know, Hollywood, California. We need to go there. We need to fly there. Now that's unique because if you're the only one doing it out here, well then guess what, buddy? You're making all the money. Right? That's unique. Or if you go to Pornhub and you type in Tongan on the search, holy shit, we got a fucking page. It's not many pages, but we got a page. That's unique because we're making waves in that. And most people be like, that's disgusting. Adult entertainment? That's work of the devil. Does it make money? Are they taking care of their family? Well, guess what, buddy? They pay taxes, right? So when it comes to being unique in avenues that we're not exploring, these are the fucking trailblazers. These are the trailblazers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know how many like right now, right? I want to bring up a very funny statistic. I just made this up right now. The video where Taniela went viral, 8,000 views, right? 400 likes, 60 something shares. But yet there's only about 12 people watching this. Few couple of comments, no likes. If you really wanted to be inclusive about this conversation, where the fuck are you guys at? Huh? Where the fuck are you at? Talk all that shit when you saw the video of how many seconds? And it hurt your feelings or you. What the fuck does he know about culture? Fuck that guy. He's from New Zealand. And yet we're right here. The table's open. You want to elaborate what the fuck you felt? Say it now. Because as it stands, 13 people here, but over 408,000 views had a lot to say. You fucking pussies. Shut the fuck up. You know why? Because the innovators are right here in this room right now. When we're pushing the envelope, we're meeting the danger. I got a death threat because of this, right? Will posted a video of me, and apparently people took it out of context that I said Polynesians were originally homosexuals. And you know what was crazy about that? Will did what Will was supposed to do. Was to provoke you, hook you, come watch the shit. You didn't want to watch the shit, right? You didn't want to watch it. You just wanted to be angry. And as a collective, you all had one thing all to agree on. We hate this guy with the face paint on, talking about fucking on boats. And all of a sudden, all your facts, all your history, everything came out the woodworks. You guys had everything to post. You want to talk about unique and average? Where the fuck is that energy at when we need it to rally about political representation? Where the fuck are we at on the UN table? Don't talk to me about unique and average because we ain't a part of the conversation yet. When we're looking at the table of the UN, they're looking at us like, who the fuck is that guy? I don't know. I think he's a foreign exchange student from Tonga. Aren't they a part of the Commonwealth? Yeah. Well, what the fuck is he doing here? Shouldn't he be here with the UK? I don't know. He just found his way in this room because you wouldn't know where to navigate that conversation. If me and Taniela had to sit in a room with high-end college students, I'll tell you right now, they wouldn't know half the shit we would talk around them right now because the shit we know is based off of experience. The shit you guys know is based in the books, which lacks the experience. So when these haters get in the comment section talking about what the fuck do they know about culture? Buddy, culture is the reason why I've contemplated suicide. Culture equates control. Okay, culture is law. You know where culture doesn't apply? In America. You know where we have to survive? In New Zealand, Australia, all these other places, because we have to once again do what the ancestors before did, right? And we have to go out there and survive so we can make footnotes and checkpoints. So when you scary motherfuckers in the islands are ready to, venture out, now you have a foot in the world. Oh, well, my cousin is in America, so I'm going to go stay with him, make some money, and send it back. Bitch, if I didn't come out here, you wouldn't have shit to send back. Don't talk about unique. Don't talk about average, because we're the ones suffering out here while you're back home talking about, oh, she fuck off of I'm not have money. We're going to lose the house. Lose what, motherfucker? You live off the land. You live off the $1,600 a month on the fucking rent, two rooms, 2 bedrooms, right? And then if you don't have EBT, you gotta buy your fucking food. Not to mention the gas and milk. Don't talk to me about unique. You know what unique is? If you take your mind down, go on Google and you search up the world problems, you would know that top 10 suicide is up there. In that category, that's where we reside. That's where we reside. That's unique to you? Suck my dick. Fucking idiots. These tough guys, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not angry. I'm not angry at all, right? Because Tui said something that hurt me, but it's not in a way that hurt. She had to talk about the negative. That's where the conversation starts. She had to start with the negative because she was more excited to elaborate on that than any positive, because there ain't no positives. That's what we're trying to create. Will, Taniela, Tui, me, we're right here trying to discover the positives now, the solution, the solving. We're trying to get to that. But every time we get a couple steps ahead, here come you motherfuckers, knock us right back. Knock us right the fuck back, proving to everybody why we can't make it ahead. Fucking crabs in a barrel. Only a few of us need to get out, and we will bring the rest of you. But now, no, you see that Tongan guy on the YouTube, always talking out of his ass. It's not even a kava club. They don't drink kava. Yeah, motherfucker, but are you talking about it? Are you talking about it? Oh, so then he must have succeeded. He must have succeeded because you dumb motherfuckers are in the kalapu right now talking about the shit. Don't think I don't know, you dumbass. I fucking know. So with that being said, my name is Savage Island. I love all my people. We are unique. We have yet to discover what makes us unique. And if I have to answer that question, what makes us unique is being angry right now and trying to find out why we don't know this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Savage, man. And Savage, always appreciate. I think everybody on the live chat. Joe Lato said fire, bringing that fire. So vela bito. Thank you so much, Savage, man. Always appreciate it. I can feel the passion, and like I said, for everybody that's watching this right now, we're trying to figure out the solution. As some of you guys might get triggered, some of you guys may hate this conversation. But honestly, like I said, we deal with reality. We don't deal with dreams. We don't deal with talking about things. But we have to look at the reality that there's not a lot of things that we can sit here and say that we're known to be unique and great, except all the negative things that we see in our world. Before I move on to the next topic that I want to bring up real quick, didn't anybody want to add on anything real quick? Taniela and Tui, any last thing to add on before I bring up the next one?
No, but before we move on, Savage, I don't know what it's from, but you know on TikTok how that one TikTok that chick is like, you fucking knew.
The womb lands. The womb. You fucking
The
knew.
womb lands. You fucking knew. Like when he said that, I was like, I wish she would have ended that rant with, you fucking knew.
I've got an add-on actually. The education system, the current education system, wherever it is, whether it's in America, Hawaii, whether it's in the Pacific, the generations of now are very intelligent people. Unfortunately, some of us are very fucking lazy, to be quite honest. But if you really want to have a peek into the Balangi's way of life and how they've managed to navigate this whole system and kept everyone out of the power dynamic, study the education system. That's where you'll find a lot of the hints of how they maintain power. And I'm not saying this, avoid education. One of my mantra is, if you want to beat the game, you have to play it. Unfortunately for me, you have to play it. You have to.
Can I add on to that?
I'll just finish off real quick. And from there, from being part of the game, play so well that when you claim your seat on the table, no one can take that fucking seat from you because you've proven to them. That's where the rules can be changed, is at the table. We can throw sticks at it and bark from the outside, but unless you're in that environment, no real change is actually going to happen. But yeah, go ahead, Savage.
No, I mean that Jesus Christ, that's literally how simple this can be broken down. The smartest people I know here in America, and most people would say, oh, Asian, Indian, whatever. Yeah, that's fine. They'll pick it up. But as far as when it comes to making it ahead, trying to get somewhere out there in the Western world, right? I look to white people when it comes to like jumping into new things. And then, of course, I look to how black people move. And that's how I navigate when I do shit, right? Because if a topic is on fire, jump on it now. It's like stocks. When it's up, it's up. You got to jump in now. You know what we're doing? We're on the sideline like, I don't know. We should probably just mind our business. No, you only think that way because we're so, it's probably in our DNA to be laid back because of how we come from the islands. We can live off the land. We got fish in the sea, fruits in the land, and all that. But like right now, to survive in the modern world, to survive here, you have to play the game. And the rules of the game is you have to participate. When you try not to participate and you do the bare minimum and try to be mediocre about your business, you're not going to survive too long. And that's why the suicide rates go up, is because when you hit complacency, you can blame it on this person, blame it on that person. But the truth is you're too afraid to jump out there without a life vest. You're too afraid. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks to put it in that metaphor, but you're too afraid. And you know who really suffers? Me and you don't suffer. We don't suffer. The kids, the young adult, these kids, they suffer so badly because when they see mommy and daddy flinch or get scared, what do you think they do? They flinch and get scared because mommy and daddy never went out on their dreams. They never wanted to try that out. You know what makes us unique? That we can follow the leader. So yeah, thank you for saying that, Taniela, because some of the smartest people and the most successful people I know are white people. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I love white people. All right. Especially white women. I'll throw that out there too. All right.
But trader will.
Hey, I said I love him, but I didn't say married. I said there's a difference.
Preserve our bloodlines, Will.
Hey, it's just the politician love, man. They gotta spread the love, spread the love, everybody.
Yeah, Will's trying to be unique.
Yeah. Hey, we're really unique, when we get to a certain level, we get a white wife, but that's another topic, that's another question, that's another discussion that we're gonna have that makes us unique. But here's the question I want to ask you guys, because I think about this all the time. If we talk about other cultures, right? Every race has their own culture. Like Asians, they have their own culture. Latinos have their own culture. But for some reason, they were still able to succeed and excel even within their culture. Like Asians, I know Asian people right now, they're very cultured, very cool. They have their own unique culture, but they still able to be successful. So how come like we have our culture and people out there say, we got to keep the culture great, and if you want to keep the culture tradition, but the discussion is why can't we excel? Why can't we take it to the next level? Like Taniela said, why can't we play the game? Why are we just sitting on the sideline and participating? Why are we obese? Why are we committing suicide at a higher rate? Right. So we have to talk about the culture, as a lot of people may see the culture as a beautiful thing, but we also need to have a discussion. Is the culture also the very reasons that why a lot of our kids are committing suicide, why a lot of kids have no ambitions to go and be successful, to play the game, to excel here in the Western society? Because Savage brought up a great point. He said the culture is control, right? For a lot of people, they may say, I think was a TUI. Sometimes people always talk about the island mindset, the Pacific Islander mindset, right? Sometimes it limits our ability to challenge things, to excel, to try new things, right? So so other cultures have figured out a way to have their culture and still be able to be successful in 2022. The Asians are doing it, Latinos are doing it, the Blacks are doing it, the whites are doing it, Europeans are doing it. they're still successful. And when I say success, I don't mean just based on only monetary value. I just mean whatever you want to do for your life, you can find a way to excel at it. And if you see other races, Europeans, they can be good at anything. Right? It doesn't matter what they do. If they want to be a farmer, they want to be a doctor, they want to be a farmer, they want to be, they want to be an entertainer, they want to be a dancer, whatever you want to do. But for some reason, in the Pacific Islander community, the only thing we're good at, that we're known for, is the playing sports. But if we say the word doctor, if you say the word entertainer, if you say the word a photographer, if you say the word actor, you don't really hear the name Pacific Islander. But if you say the word obese, but if you say the word suicide rate, then that's what we're known for. So I just want to, I guess, want to ask you guys real quick about the culture. Like, how come? Why are we not excelling from our culture? And I want to discuss the culture itself. Is the culture part of the reason why we're having all these problems? Is the discussion? Do we need to change something? Do we need to eliminate the culture? I mean, I don't know, but we need to have the discussion, because I always hear in the comments, I always hear from people talk about how great our culture is. But at the same time, I do also hear from a lot of people that say that the very reason why they want to commit suicide, like Savage brought up, the very reason why they're obese, the very reason why they're afraid to speak up, to challenge, to try something new things, was because of the culture itself. So I want to talk about, like, how can we have the culture and find a way to take it to the next level? Because all the other races have done it. They have their own culture, and they still found a way to be successful and progress in 2022. But for some reason, we can't do that here. So is it a matter of picking one or the other? Either you lose a culture and be successful, or find your new path in 2022? Is there a way to maintain both? Can you still be excel and progress as specified and maintain your culture? But that's a discussion I want to have. And Savage, do you want to start it off, and then I'll come back to Tui and Taniela. Go ahead, Savage, start it off real quick.
Sorry, I'm still loto mafana from the last dialogue, so I gotta let that go, man. But what's really sad about this question, and this question really hurts me, because there's a very true answer. Is the culture really holding us back that bad that we can't succeed? And yes, it absolutely is. Case in point. And Will, if you're gonna clip anything, clip this. PCC. We don't even own it, and it's making money, right? You get paid to go to PCC to do what our ancestors did, but you don't live that way. And yet you don't see no gain, no increase in your home, do you? Do enough of these PCC performers actually own two homes, a mortgage? Do they own their own LLC? Are they doing a lot of that? Because if they are, I am willing to bet everything I know and have in my life that is a very handful of them. Right. And if anybody knows what PCC is, or the history of it, that it is not owned by any PI people. You know what I'm saying? Why that hurts is it's damn near a modern day plantation. Hey, we're all shucking and jiving, dancing for the man. And everybody's, hey, I'm just happy to be here. I come all the way from Fiji to Tens for the village of Fiji, and I'm so happy to send money back. Yeah, but do you know that the actual work that you put in is not only worth way more that you're not receiving, but you're sending back the bare minimum? I'd say anything you're making right now, you're probably getting at least 15% of what the actual payout is. 15%. And you suffice by that. That's okay. You're satisfied with that to send that back home. Now, I'm not talking about anybody specifically. I'm talking about in general. That's how PCC works. We get legit, authentic PI people to come and teach the culture and these dances and pay them the minimum without them knowing. It's a fucking scam, you idiots. They do the same thing at Disney World. The Polynesian luau, they do the same thing. You fucking idiots. You give it away and you don't even fucking make the demands. The treaty, right? The treaty of I think it was the Treaty of Tutuila. The beauty in that treaty is that the chiefs, the Matais, they dictated the terms. They said, listen, motherfucker, we know we're not going to beat you. You got the advanced weaponry. But if you're going to be here, we make the fucking rules. That's how that went down. That's how that fucking went down. So, of course, The Hawaiians pipelined into America in the early 1900s. Right after them are the Samoans. And then coincidentally is us right after them, the Tongans, because of by way of religion. Now, the crazy thing is we had 100 years. We had 100 years. We had a head start. We had 100 years. We didn't have to get enslaved in America. We bypassed that. You know, give or take, the Hawaiians went through some shit, which I'm not trying to, say that's, I'm not trying to be insensitive to, but we had a head start. We didn't have to get whipped or brought here on slave ships. When we got to America, we hit the ground running. We should have had generational wealth. And some of us here, first, second generation, don't even know how big the fucking gap is. You don't know how big the fucking gap is because we all sat there thinking, I'm just happy to be here. You're happy to be here. Guess what, dumbass? When you were here for a whole fucking generation of time, you didn't get us ahead. So when we came after you, we were further behind than where we started. That doesn't make sense. Oh, fuck up, Papa dictates we can't be in the same room with our sisters. Okay, cool. What the fuck does that have to do with me getting out there? And if I believe I can sing and be one of the best singers, why won't you let me? Because I want you to sing for Jesus. Sing for Jesus. Mom, I sound like Michael Jackson. I can sing with the best of them. No, Junior, please stay home. Your father needs help. He has scouted. He can't work all the fucking days. You have to go out there and find work. Are you, Mom? Bank on me, bet on me, put it all on me. I promise you I can carry this family, but you have to trust me. Yeah, I'm going to fall short. Yeah, I'm going to fuck up along the way, but we have to do it now. Junior, I don't know. Please, just go back to school. And meanwhile, you go back to school, you don't get the fucking degree, you don't get the job you was looking for, and then all the songs you wrote down and threw away, now some fucking guy is making money off of that. You're the Milli Vanilli guy, right? They used your voice on some shit, but you ain't the face. Some of that shit might have happened for some real people. I just watched a fucking interview with Young LB. Shout out to Young LB, the Toko, right? And, the beauty of his success, and I got to believe that his net worth is well over $1 million. Well over $1 million. He's truly an entrepreneur, and he's a businessman. But the one thing I noticed about his whole interview was he doesn't fuck with no Tongans. He don't fuck with no Tongans. He don't fuck with any Tongans. And that's not being disrespectful. That tells me he knew where to go for success. And it wasn't with the Tongans. That's fucked up. But he left the culture a long time ago. Look where he's at now. Now everybody want to claim, oh, hey, he's Tongan. Oh, now he was. Because I remember just a couple years back, nobody wanted to associate with Young LB because he's a gangbanger and, he promotes this and that. But if he makes money enough to take care of the family, oh, please come to the funeral. Please come to the 21st birthday. Oh, all of a sudden now he's high honor. That sucks when money dictates the rules, but that's where culture is. If the money does not support the culture, you have no value here in the Tongan village. And that's why I'm going to talk. It's just Tongans. I'm pretty sure it's the same in Samoa, Hawaii, New Zealand, anywhere else. That doesn't sound like culture to me when the fucking money dictates how we run about shit. But that's where it's at. That's how culture can control. Does culture have value? Yes, it does. Not here, back home in the islands. We can bring the traditions, leave the culture at home. But as far as how we're trying to be successful out here, it doesn't work. The culture isn't supposed to be a part of the formula. Because if it was, we would be making money off of it. Oh, but I sell the lava-lavas and the EAs. Where? In Hawaii at the flea market. Do you sell it anywhere else? No, because this is where it's high demand. Well, then it's not that valuable, is it? Because there's about other 6 vendors who do the same shit you do. So I could go on about this, but that's where I'm at right now.
All right, no worries. Thank you so much, Savage. I appreciate that, man. I can feel that motherfucker, man. I can feel that motherfucker, Savage. And Savage dropping those
Hadouken!
for everybody out there. Thank you so much, everybody on the live chat, man. I see a lot of you guys on the live chat. Thank you so much. Keep that live chat popping, y'all. I definitely want to hear what you guys think. And Joe Latu said, Savage, he said, clip that. Definitely, Toko. I will. You already know. I already put down the timestamp on on my notes. But let me pass it to you. Pass it to you, Taniela. Taniela, what do you think? What do you think about the culture itself? Is there a way for us, to excel within the culture? Do we need to make some changes within the culture, or like I said, why are the culture itself the very problem the very problems that we talked about that's very unique to us? Does that originate from the culture? Let's open up the discussion. What do you think, Daniela?
It's not culture, it's Jesus. And this is where I sort of can have a conversation with people talking about colonizers and the lot, right? Christianity is the form or the tool that allowed European to coexist within the Pacific without having to face the backlash of our culture. As far as I know, the Tongan culture, from what I've gathered from the talanoa that I've had with a vast majority of the old heads here, our culture was that if you were to be challenged, you either strap up or shut up. And that was it. And that's where our term mana came from. If someone was to challenge your mana, you get your ass out there and accept that challenge. And if you were to be beaten, you accept that with grace and you pay your respect. And then you go home and carry on. So how do you try and maintain or at least cast a power dynamic over a culture that practiced that? You bring in a religion that is able to rival the existing belief of the people, but instead of saying mana challenges mana, it's now Jesus, morality. You can't just display violence and all these things. So as we now know, throughout the dynamic of modern day practice culture, the way that a lot of the violence is manifesting to me is how we've suppressed that very nature of our people. So that our people were very, very proud warrior race. So if you have a very extreme, I wouldn't say religious, but an extreme way of life be taken for another where it's extremely peaceful, it's going to manifest itself in other ways. So I think religion has been problematic for us, because if we look at a vast majority of our people, especially overseas, we're flourishing. We actually are, but not in the good way. I'm introducing a course of ethical hacking here for youth. And the reason why I'm looking at ethical hacking is vast majority of the youth that commit crime here are Tongan and Tongan Māori. It's either got a Māori father or Māori mother. And what they do is they've learned how to break into cars in record times. They've learned how to disable alarms with PlayStation controller and things like that. So we are actually flourishing. And what I've noticed is that we have a knack for solving complex problems. Unfortunately, it's in the crime arena. We're solving complex problems in crime, in criminal activities. So I guess exposure and direction is what we need, and we need that from people who are privileged, unfortunately. People like you and I who can be able to sit here and enjoy, everyone on the panel, we can enjoy our day-to-day life, having the perception that we have, whereas the vast majority of the children that are in the system, or even the families that are in the system, are struggling to survive. They're living below poverty line. They don't have the time to sit there and go, oh, maybe if I go and steal that nice, piece of watch, or go and break into that jewelry store, maybe that's not a good decision. Vast majority of our families are like, fuck this, I need money. I need to feed me. I need to feed my family. If I don't, I'm essentially dead. And this is the reality. And I think Savage talks about, unfortunately, our elders came to this, migrated overseas, and they didn't leave us any sort of clues into how to step above them and elevate ourselves. So we're actually in the same queue. We're just behind them. So it's a good opportunity for us, and this is why I'm always a big proponent of having people on. If you challenge me, I don't really give a shit. I enjoy that you challenge me and you disagree with me. But come on here so at least we can try and achieve something out of it. At least get something out of it that's going to be positive for the culture and the community that we both belong into. So yeah, I don't think culture is a problem. I think religion has turned a race that was very proud and prideful and did things in manners where in today's world we could have, if we kept the same culture pre-Christianity, I think we would be a force to be reckoned with. Because we are innovators. Like one of the comments said, we navigated the whole Pacific Ocean with no technology. We innovated a canoe. We looked to the stars. We used the wind, and we fucking settled the vast majority of the Pacific Ocean. That is pre-European, who had to use a compass and telescopes and whatnot to wayfind. So, unfortunately, we still have the same knack. We just put it all in the wrong places. But it takes people like us who have the perception that we do to reach out and say, hey, here's a different way. Why don't you try this?
All right, no worries. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Daniela. And I would say, Daniela, you said that our ancestors navigated without no tools. I will also, they navigated without knowing Jesus.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't know Jesus back in the day, but they still found a way to get it done. Right?
Yeah, Maui pulled up an island. Let's go and find it. You know.
All right, no worries. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Daniela. Thank you for your thoughts. And yeah, and don't forget, everybody that's watching this right now, I know some of you guys did reach out on Instagram. And I challenge you guys, come on, especially the people that disagree. Let's have a conversation. And like I said, the whole purpose of this conversation for everybody is not to put our people down. It's to figure out solutions. And we have to be very honest and be realistic of how we are in real life. But at the same time, we try to figure out a solution. But talking about it on the comments and and talking about it and hating each other, that doesn't do anything productive. What are we actually doing to make sure that we figure out a solution? And so if you do have a different opinion and you disagree with some of the things we're talking about, please click on that link and jump on. But let me pass it to you, the Fraudcast. Tui, what do you think about the culture itself? Do you think why can't we excel within the culture? Is the culture the problem itself? Is there a way to find a balance between? What do you think about that whole topic? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I should probably I should probably be more clear when I say things because people take things the wrong way, and that's me calling people idiots. But whoever said that culture is not the problem, I don't think any of us are saying that culture is the problem. The social norms inside of the culture that have become acceptable, that people apply and make it seem like that is the culture, is the problem. Just so we are clear. I don't want there to be any miscommunication in that. By no means is Polynesian culture or any culture a problem. It's just like communism. Communism on paper is a great idea. But the fucking assholes who try to achieve communism are fucking dicks, right? So I'm just saying that our culture is great. Tradition is awesome. But if you are going to pass on culture, I'm sorry, can you guys hear me? I can't hear.
Yes.
Okay. But all these things are great. Polynesian culture and tradition are awesome. But to really pass on a culture and traditions correctly of any kind, not just ours, we need to know all of it, and we need to find a way to make our children, because fuck us as adults, we're already fucked. We can try to grow, but the only thing that we can do now is educate our kids. Like, what we would have to do is educate our kids on culture, our traditions, and make them understand that there is room for them to do whatever else the fuck they want. It is okay. You can have one foot in tradition and culture and still be out in a Western society. It's completely fucking possible. But, I mean, realistically, there's no one solution for these things. We would have to go household to household. Everyone is responsible for their own family members, and that's how we would have to start doing these things. We ourselves would have to understand and learn our own culture, our language. Like, even mat weaving itself is going to be a lost art. Like, we need to learn these things for ourselves, We need to pass them on to our kids, explain why it's important, and then push them to better, not better. Like, we need to push them to things outside of their comfort zone, because we don't know we don't know our limits as Polynesian people, because we don't push each other. We don't we don't push our children outside of social norms. So no, culture is not a problem. It's us. We are the problem.
Okay, all right, no worries. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Tui, and thank you for clarifying on the culture part, Tui. Unfortunately, Tui, most people are never gonna see that. I know.
I know. I know. One more thing I want to touch on what Savage said about PCC,
Yep, yep,
because
yep.
we all know how I feel about PCC. Fucking ridiculous. Why is a religious conglomerate capitalizing on the exploitation of our people, and we are not doing that ourselves for things that we know for ourselves? If anyone's going to exploit my damn race for money, it's going to be me. You know what I mean? I mean, I am, but that's, a whole different story that I'll share at a different time. But my point is, why are we not doing this for ourselves? I think everyone needs to ask themselves, if all these white and Asian people can exploit our culture, our people, and our traditions for money, why are we not doing it for ourselves? Don't call out cultural appropriation if you're not making money off this shit. That's all.
All right, all right. Yeah, if anybody's gonna make money, it should be us, right? Should be us. That makes sense. All right. Thank you for everybody. Oh, go ahead, Savage. Add on. Go ahead, Savage. Oh, you're mute, Togo. Oh, I can't hear you. Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you so much for everybody on the live chat. Let me just read some comments real quick. Shout out to you guys. I think Joe Latu said, you should be aware and you should take from the culture what is fruitful for you. Learn to make money. LOL. Yeah, thank you for your comment. Joe Latu, I think Segment said, totally different worldview. Taniela, we knew nature and nature is somehow superior to science. Hey, they're still trying to figure out the mana of particles and electrons. Thank you so much. And then two
Can you hear
wonderful.
me now?
Yep. Go the way you're celebrated, no way you're tolerated. Yeah, do you want to add on, Savage? Go ahead, Togo.
No, I wanted to make note. I didn't want to bring up religion in this episode today because the people I've been facing backlash from are the Christian community. So, Jesus lovers are mad at me currently, and I just wanted to ease up off of them since apparently I'm being a bully. So, but I agree with both of them. Tui made a very dangerous statement, and I'm all for it.
No worries, no worries. Thank you so much, Savage. And your audio is on, Savage, but it is a little, it's not as clear as before. It's not as clear. So just if you can improve that a little bit. But I want to ask you guys real quick. I think Savage said something on when he was speaking. I think you said something very profound. I think you said Savage, that culture without money, that has no value. I think that's what you said, something like that. But I want to ask you guys real quick. What I want to talk about is do you think the problem with our community is not the is how we are not we don't prioritize finances and money? Uh, because obviously the one things I do see with other cultures, like the Asians, the white people, Europeans, like they prioritize making money. Like they prioritize making sure that they can figure out a way to put themselves on the top to make sure that they can dominate, right? And obviously, we all know money is the thing that makes all the world go round. If you don't have money, if you don't have finances, you have no power. If you don't have no power, obviously, you can't really make a difference in this world, right? So, whatever values, whatever dominance, whatever culture do you want, whatever dream or goal or difference you want to make in this world, you do need finances. You do need money. So, I know some of the people in the live chat were bringing up the comments about how we don't really talk about money, we don't prioritize money. But is that do you guys think? I just want to throw that question out. Do you think that is that maybe one of the solutions is like you said, we need to bring the aspect of money, but oftentimes I do hear from a lot of the Pacific Island community is the religious part is what stops that level of thinking because oh money making money is evil, that's not important. What's important is staying home, taking care of your parents, going to church every single Sunday, living out your practices, your traditions. Making money is not a thing that we should be focused on in Pacific Islanders. But I do see that I think, like I say, money should be a priority because if you have the finances, if you have the money, you can do whatever you want to do and make a difference, whatever difference you want to make in your life, in the world, with the people you have in the world. But what do you think about the topic of money? Like, is that part is like, how does that tie into our culture? Like, what do you think about that? Do we Should we focus more on making money? Is that a conversation we have, or is that because a lot of people would? I just want to hear what you guys think because I think that's maybe one of the new things that we need to bring into the generation today. Is like, hey, like if you want to get like I said, Taniela said, if you want to play the game in 2022, you have to make money. You have to prioritize, especially in the Western society. You cannot excel. You cannot make a difference if you don't have some kind of monetary value, if you don't have some kind of financial status, or if you don't have a plan long term to make sure that you accumulate your wealth and your finances. But let me start with you, Taniela. What do you think about that topic? How like our culture don't really prioritize money, but do you think that's a solution? Like, do we really need to maybe the next generation? Hey, money needs to be a priority for us in our generation moving forward, so that way we can dominate socio-economically in this world if we want to play the game, if you want to be up there like the rest of the world. What do you think, Daniela?
Yeah, before we get into that, just for all the religious people in there, I'm not dogging religion. I'm not saying religion is fucking... Some of y'all need religion. There are some people in this world need religion as some sort of guidance. All right, so it's just an example of turning a culture that was about acceptance of mana through violence and things like that to a very peaceful culture can be problematic, especially if we're always behind the eight ball. That's my comment. It's not money, it's wealth. Wealth is what we need to prioritize. Money is just a tool. The current tool of the West is money. That's how a vast majority of power navigates systems. But wealth in general is what we need to focus on. And how do we promote wealth? Well, you have to look at the landscape. What is the currency that's being traded in that landscape? How powerful is that currency? And who's in control of that currency? How can we form a system that is strategic enough that whatever we make now can be sustainable for whoever comes after us? And how can we pass on that knowledge to the next generation? And that's wealth, not necessarily money, right? Because if you go back to Tonga, money isn't the currency. Although it's very powerful, but it's not the only currency. You can live off the land and all these things. So wealth is more not only a mindset, but also a lifestyle that people need to live. So in terms of thinking and how we look at and perceive the world, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the brain capacity or the knowledge to be able to find ways of that being sustainable, you're going to lose it. So even if you prioritize money or not, it's always going to be a problem if you don't have wealth of knowledge to go along with it. So I think we need a challenge and navigate systems again. Our ancestors have managed to physically navigate nature and the ocean. And I think the next venture for us as Pacific people is that we need to navigate the European system. If we want to give our people any chance, we have to play the game. Like, as cliche as that, we have to play the game. And we have to give our people a better chance than what we're currently doing. When we migrate to any sort of dynamic, any country, who's in power? None of us. No Pacific Islander is in power. So why the fuck would a white man sitting in power care for a brown guy who comes from a little dot in the Pacific Ocean? He probably won't. He'll probably, if it's a political standing, he'll probably say some shit that aligns with you, but they won't. And goes back to inherently all races are racist by nature. We have internal biases. So if we need to help our people, we need to play the game. Whatever game that may be, we need to put our people in powerful position so that we may help, our own people. So not money, but wealth.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we need wealth, right? 'Cause wealth can last for generations. I'll pass it to you, Savage. Same thing, Savage. Like I said, like if we want to make a difference, if we want to dominate the landscape, if we want to be excel and be great, like we do need wealth. Like Daniela said, like we do need financial wealth and be able to fund all those things. So what's your thoughts about that with our culture? Because I know in our culture, the topic of wealth finances is never brought about, but people always talk about changes. Hey, we should do this. We should do this. But yeah, that's still going to require money and status and socioeconomic status. So what do you think about that, Savage?
Can you hear me first?
It's a lot better. Yep.
Yeah, we have to pioneer. That's it. First and foremost, we got to pioneer. We got to get out there in those categories that really interest us and that we believe we can succeed in. That we've learned enough trade and we've gathered enough information to be like, hey, I enjoy learning about this and I think I can do it. Even if when people, this is always cliche, this is always corny, but even if you're the only one who believes, you got to do it, right? So the Irish, Jewish, Asian, and Black communities in the early boroughs of New York, right? Now, the Black community was always at a disadvantage coming out of slavery. So the Irish community, the Jewish community, and the Asian community, right before the Depression in the early 30s here in America, they were all thriving. Why? Because they kept business within their homes. They all came together here in immigration and stayed in their communities and said, hey, let's do what's called holding, where they bring the money into the community, keep the money here, and source out what the other communities need. So say, for instance, the Irish were good at having potatoes. That was the one thing the other communities needed. So you got to go to Irish Town, right? And, the Jews, they had oil. So you go to the town of the Jews and you get the oil from them, right? And then, of course, Asia is medicine. So these places, they marquee their one good delicacy that they've niched out, and everybody knows if you need it, go to Chinatown. If you need that, go to the Jews. And if you need this, go to the Irish. So they build their business because they keep it within the family. The whole time while this is happening, they do need labor workers. So that's where Black community comes in. This one black person is working for all three communities, gathering information on how to marquee something for their community. So now he knows how to gather oil. Now he knows how to gather medicine, and now he knows how to gather potatoes. You know what he does? He moves to Oklahoma. Moves to Oklahoma, takes all of what he just learned, and makes his own business market out there. This is Black Wall Street. The story, the spook who sat by the door, is supposedly inspired by that conspiracy. Nobody knows if it's a true story or not. But that one Black person inspires the Frank Lucas of American Gangster. That's how Tony Montana and all these guys come about, because it's a story inspired by a possible real story. Because that's how you had to do it. When you've been here for so long and you have nothing to show for it, that's a sad life. It's a sad fucking life. Are you serious? You've been here that long and you haven't learned shit. So now this is where I come in with my personal experience. Yeah, I'm eating off the culture. I'm taking our stories and putting them on TikTok, and people are fucking eating this shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come from a village of storytellers, so it's in my blood. And I'm not giving it away. You have to tap in with my content in order to have access to it. So I'm not out there trying to promote the shit, putting it on everybody's pages. If people share this shit, they know where to go and get it. And nowhere else can you get these original stories other than me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I use the culture, because in that way, whatever survived after colonization is what we got passed down. Taniela knows. He's shared many of the stories. Tui, we've had this conversation many times. And then Will, I'm right there with you when it comes to decolonizing our people, is to push them, because we can't be nice about it anymore. You guys want to be here, and we've been here for too long already, right? Even if we're first, second, third generation here, we can't sit here much too long, because these people have been here 7, 8 generations in, and if we're not careful, we're going to have to be working for them for a very long time. Very long time. So now we have to be the spook who sat by the door. We have to learn that. We have to learn this. Then we have to take what we know, put it all together, and take it to where it matters, right? I mean, somewhere down the line, being a content creator, I like to mark myself as a thought provoker. I'm very good at provoking thought within people. But whatever I'm doing and however I'm good at it, I'm slowly but surely figuring out the formula on how to monetize it to make the money. Because right now, money talks. I don't want it to be about money all the fucking time. I don't. But you know what makes my family be able to eat, sleep, and have a roof over their head is fucking money. So I need to do it. I have to until I can figure out another formula to where it's passive. I don't need it anymore. It just comes like waterfall. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at in life is that, you know, the value of money is that there's nothing valuable about it, but it is a necessity in order to survive and thrive in the modern world. I'm sorry, buddy, but you need to make money. It's just it's the way the game goes. Unless you can figure out a more sufficient system that doesn't require you to use this currency or cash or whatever the case is, we can't go back to the barter system because too many people have abused that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, my word is bond. My word is bond. It doesn't work that way anymore. So now people are venturing into crypto and investing in this and that. You know what I'm saying? The game is changing. And if we're not careful, we're going to miss out of the pie. Does that make sense? So, yeah, that's where I'm at with money, man. As much as I don't want it to be about money, I still need to use it. I have to.
All right. No worries. Thank you so much, Savage. I think Hitman808 said he's right. Thank you, right, with the thank you sign, and then 2 Wonderful said, "Money talks, bullshit walks, motto for life." Facts. All right. Let me pass it to you, Tui Fraudcast. What do you think, Tui? What do you think about the, finances? That's something that we definitely need to prioritize in the community and the way we deal with money, as far as right now.
Okay. Again, I want to be specific. Yes, it is something that our community does need to focus on because nobody knows how to use it. So I'm for those of well, actually nobody really knows me in the chat, but financial literacy is something that our people are unfamiliar with. But what I have been a part of, especially here in Hawaii, is pushing a different. Realistically, the U.S. education system is not going to change. But what we can do is put in place not programs, um, but classes specifically geared towards uh, financial literacy for kids. Like something simple, like earn, save, spend, save, invest. You know, like I said, our generation is kind of a lost cause. What can we do? We can teach the young. That's what we can do. We can try and change our ways now and teach the younger generation. But financial literacy is something that our people don't have. Nobody knows what investing really means. And you can blame it on favelas, you can blame it on, 5 families living in one house, you can blame it on whatever you want. But realistically, we are still working the same jobs in a society that is growing increasingly more expensive and expecting to live the same way. So, what do we do? Like we have to learn, like we have to teach ourselves household budgeting, learning how to manage and pay off debts, evaluating trade-offs between credit and investment products. What's worth investing, like Savage said, Bitcoin, like cryptocurrency. These are things that our people really need to get to know realistically. And I don't want to say we're so behind, but you hear everyone talking about it. But like I said, our people are great storytellers. Like, oh, we should do that. Yeah, fucking do it. You know what's stopping you? What wall and what invisible wall are you running into that's preventing you from doing these things? I mean, I can say these things all day, but realistically, it's simple. Earn, spend, save, invest. Like if anyone takes away anything from that, like those 4 things, just look up financial literacy. That's all you really have to do. Teach your kid. Anyway, yes, it's fucking important, because I was going to ask you guys, how many Polynesian homeowners do you know? Do you guys know a lot of Polynesian homeowners?
I know only one in my life. One.
What about you two?
Are you one? one or two, but that was passed on from the previous from the parents, right? What they didn't buy the home, it was passed on.
Taniela, do you know Do you know a lot?
I know only a few,
Okay.
not a whole lot.
So
Yeah.
so this is my point. Every single one of us should have, like, we should have homes. Our friends, our family should have homes. We should be supporting if we're going to support our family members, it shouldn't be sending them fucking money. Your ass comes and lives with you. Your ass has come live with me. We're going to work until one of us gets a house, and then we're going to live together. Well, someone else gets a fucking house. Like, that's how we should be supporting each other, but that's not the case. Like, we're just handing out money to our family members for free. For fucking what? No, we're not going anywhere with it. So, yeah, we do. Like, there is such an importance that we need to learn about financing, about making money, and how to make more of it without breaking our fucking backs. Because that is a thing of the past, realistically. Our people work harder, not smarter, and I don't even fucking know why.
Okay.
I sound really negative on your. I sound really negative on this podcast,
that's
but I
real
swear to
talk.
God,
That's real
I
talk.
swear to God, I'm not. I just everyone keeps, like, blowing smoke up everyone's asses, and I'm not here to do that. I'm just here to say, like, listen, these are real world problems that I've experienced, that I've seen, that, like, people have talked to me about, and, like, but what are we doing?
Okay, can I add on to what she said to
Yep.
Will?
Yep, go ahead, Savage.
All right, so back onto the concept of holding, right? Holding is a concept where, a community will highlight something of importance and monetize it basically, and then of course try to push it out as, this is the primary and important to their culture. So, as far as Asian medicine, it really wouldn't be important if they didn't promote or advertise to the other communities its importance. So a Jew and an Asian, right? This is this old joke. A Jew and an Asian are standing in the middle of the street, and the Asian passes out, and the Jew passes out, and the Asian brings him back to with his medicine, right? And the people are astonished at how effective the Asian medicine is, right? And the moral of the story is how the believability, right? After that, people were flooding to Asian stores for medicine, for fucking medicine. It was all an act. It was all a fucking act. These two communities got together and made money off of, hey, we'll build your brand just as long as you break us off a percentage. And so, as you can see today, like, evidently, you can go to Chinatown in New York, still thriving. And if you don't already know, I would say New York is a Jewish city. New York is a Jewish city. I mean, I'm sorry, but and I'm not trying to bring any controversy, but that's when you work smarter, not harder, for the long term, right? Tui brought it up perfectly. Like, it's hard work should pay off, but for us being here, it's not. We're just showing that we're hard workers. That's about it, right? If me, Taniela, Will, and Tui can get on a podcast and provoke people, right? It would be pretty cool if we could make money off of that. And that should be the end goal. Is we should be pushing Will and the platform to be like, damn, this is the go-to guy. And even if he's not, we got to push him to be that guy. So once he breaks the mold, now we can all flood the doors, right? Because once he gets in, now we can bust in. He's opened the way, but it just don't work that way, because it's the crabs in a barrel kind of mentality, where if you don't see yourself succeeding, you think, oh, well, I'm not good then, because if it wasn't me who did it, then fuck it. Buddy, there has to be trailblazers. There just has to be. And that's the part that hurts, is when I see a lot of us being successful, making way out there, that it's the uplifting part. It's the uplift. I've heard so much negativity about The Rock, but the one thing I love about The Rock? Ain't nobody saying it to his face. None of us. You know why? Because he can go to any one of his homes, which I might add, he has a home in pretty much every state, if I'm correct. And he doesn't have to hear your shit. He can just fly. And the sad part of it is, you just sit in your circle, and The Rock is going to keep growing while you're just sitting there moping around. You know what I'm saying? But who am I to say anything? I'm colonized.
Hey, speaking about trailblazing, I've had this conversation multiple times, and many people may get triggered by what I'm going to say right now. But I would say one of the one of the things I admire about white people is they don't have any culture to stop them from achieving their goals and dreams. You know, so as much as I love culture, that's why I think, I know some of you guys may believe culture is, something you have to practice, something you have to keep. But I think if you're a Pacific Islander and you have to let go of your culture to be successful, so that way you can gain the knowledge and that skill and that wealth, so you can go back and bring that information back into your community, I think it's a necessary thing that you have to do. So for when I see Pacific Islanders sacrifice their culture, sacrifice their traditions to be able to survive, to be able to take care of their family, to be successful, I don't have a problem with that. And I think as much as people want to talk about white people saying, "Oh, white people, they don't have no culture, they don't have no traditions," but at the same time, they're the ones dominating this world. They're the ones up there and have the power to influence society and make the decisions because they don't have the cultural norms and cultural practices and things that's been indoctrinated to their mind to stop them to say this is the only way of thinking, this is the only way how to do things. They don't have that problem. So for me, it's like that's something I always admire about white people, and I think for me, it's like if you're a Pacific Islander right now, and like I said, bro, I'm trying to figure out how to get into this podcast game, how to get into social media game, and I think for people that I know personally myself that have trying to break into any industry, for a lot of them when I talk to them, like they had to let go of their family, they had to let go of their practices, traditions to be able to become that person to break through, and I think for a lot of people out there, if you're listening right now, that if you have to do that, I don't see a problem with that. If you're doing it for a good purpose to take care of yourself, to take care of your family, and then get that information, and then we can pass that on. But sometimes people like they're so focused on culture, but also like, hey, if you have to drop that, you have to let that go to get to the next level. Hey, I think you have to do what you have to do. Um, but I want to, for the cast, for everybody, hey, I see some new people on the live chat. I see KJ Lolo from Facebook said, "How Weds, so true." Hey, what's up, KJ? KJ Lolo. Thank you so much for jumping on the podcast for the very first time. I see some new names. I see Seliki Tauke. Salute, hey man, thank you so much. All the way from Facebook tuning in for the very first time. Shout out to you, thank you so much. And I see you, Drolix, back on here in the live chat. I haven't seen you in a while, but Drolix, good to see you. You say you need to cut your debt to zero if you can. Save up emergency fund of what at least 3 more better. If you get 6 months, you'll be fine if you lose your job or major emergency occurs. And I see new ideas. I know you were jumping on the podcast last weekend. Thank you for jumping one more time. You said, I think the best method for home ownership is when families stick together and chip in for a house, then another house. All right. Thank you so much, everybody on the live chat. Thank you so much for keep the live chat popping. I appreciate you guys. Always on here, always tuning for the live show. But for my panel guests, I want to ask you guys the last topic. And this is probably going to be probably the most triggering topic for everybody that's watching this right now. But this is what I want to ask you. I know because we talked about in the beginning. About white people, right? Oftentimes when I talk to Pacific Islanders, they always want to blame the white people for our oppression, for colonization, and of course, I agree. We have some history with them, but a lot of times I still see a victim mentality with the white people. But I think Taniela brought up a great point, and we had a conversation. I believe there are certain things white people do that's beneficial, and I think it's better. And some of the things that white people do, we need to bring into our culture and introduce into our community. But I think a lot of people would say, "Oh no, we don't want to be Palangi." And I remember when we did the podcast the first time, Savage. I know we talked about, if a Pacific Islander is intelligent, if a Pacific Islander has a college degree, if a Pacific Islander wants to elevate himself in the world, how come all the time they always want to call him, "Hey, why do we always have to associate growth, intelligence, financial, socioeconomic status with white? Why can't we just say, hey, he wants to get a degree. Oh man, he's a Tongan. If he wants to be successful, a business owner, he's a Tongan. But why does it always have to say Fiat Balang want to be white? But I think for me, oftentimes we have a negative relationship with white people. We see them because of colonization, because of the history. We think that they're evil. We think they're not good. But I think for me, most of the things that I learned as far as growth, as far as finances, as far as the things I need to do to be successful, I learned it from white people. I did not learn it from Pacific Islanders. I did not learn that from my parents. God bless my parents. They gave me a life and they raised me to be able to survive and be an adult. But all the things, all the knowledge that I know was taken away from white people. All the things I know from my podcast, I watched other white content creators on their videos so I can get that information and apply it for myself for my podcast. There was no Pacific Islander content creators teaching other Pacific Islanders how to create a successful podcast. It was from white people. So my relationship with white people is really good. I love white people, like I mentioned before in the podcast. And I think I will say this right now. I think there's certain things white people do that we need to bring into our culture. There's certain mindsets white people have we need to bring in our culture. I'm not saying not all of it. I'm just saying, like I said, anything in life, I always say take the good, leave the bad. But this notion that we don't need white people, we shouldn't be like white people. I think that's one of the reasons why it's stopping us. And I think that there's certain things that white people are doing. It's working for them, especially in this modern society, 2022. That we as Pacific Islanders, we need to be able to adopt those things and make it happen and play the game, like Taniela said. But let me open up that topic. What are your thoughts about how Pacific Islanders view white people in our community? I'll start with you, Taniela. What are your thoughts about that?
There has to come a time in everyone's life, especially as an adult, where you have to really say, is my life actually moving forward if I'm pointing the fingers elsewhere? And if my situation, if all I'm doing is blaming someone else for where I am, whether that be white people, fucking Asians, blacks, whatever, there has to be a time that comes to you in life where you go, fuck, I'm not moving forward. I'm miserable, I'm bitter, I'm no good to myself, I'm no good to the people around me. I'm still the poor guy 5 years ago, still playing the blame game. So regardless of whatever the issue may be, we have to figure out a way to adapt. One of the things that I'm actually quite proud of being a Tongan is that our people borrowed knowledge from all over the Pacific. One of the biggest evidence of that is all our whaiva. Vast majority of our whaiva were from other cultures. Not only that, horticulture and the way that we were managing nature within Tonga. Vast majority of our food was not even native to Tonga. So when I look at Tongans and my pride in being a Tamasi Tonga, it's from my ancestors, and that's how I've been looking at white people in general. They've been the hierarchy of power. So when I came to NZ, and I thought, hey, whose lifestyle will I rather live? It's this guy. I didn't really see him as a European or whatnot, so just happens to be a white guy. Having a very successful relationship with his family, was able to pay off his debt, whatever that is, home ownership, all of the good things that we'd like to envision and dream about in the West. So the first thing that came to my head was not whether he's a colonizer or not. How is he playing the game? How is he able to amass this certain level of wealth? How can I essentially follow behind him? And one of the biggest thing that we talk about on this podcast is just communication. We mentioned oratory. Our people are good at talking. We're very good at talking shit. But unfortunately, we're not using that in the context where it really matters, in the table of negotiation. There is a comment up there where it's saying that we can't invest because we're getting paid below whatever it is, that below poverty line average. Yeah, because we're not negotiating. Just about a couple of days ago, I sat down with someone who wanted to negotiate a contract for a baseline of a salary of a CEO here in New Zealand without a damn degree, no education at all. I finished in high school. That was my level of degree. But we're able to navigate these avenues and these games because I take a lot of that back, and I'm inspired by Balangis, but it's deeply rooted in my culture. It's deeply rooted in my ancestors. If they can navigate an ocean as wide as the Pacific, I can do the same thing in a European system. I don't have to go out and freeze my ass off and maybe have to fuck another guy on a boat for a couple of years, but I can do this, right? I can navigate the system here. So we take inspiration wherever we go based on whatever level of success that we want to attain. That's all it is. And one of the biggest things that we could do is talk shit where the table is. When the balangi's sitting right across you saying, oh, Sione, I'm going to pay you $5 an hour. Sione goes, no, Brian, you're going to pay me $6. And next year, you're going to pay me $10. But before you pay me $10, what does $10 look to you, Brian? We meet halfway, you pay me $10, and we can go from there. That's how we navigate. We navigate with our mouths because we're so talented at it. I just don't know why we don't do it. We can tell very pretty stories and tell stories of victimhood and oppression, but we don't tell stories of strength. Fuck with it. We're naturally, able to speak in ways that, like, for example, the way that I speak English is not my second language, but I've learned through books. And a vast majority, if not all of the time that I've come across my own people, they've always mistaken me for Indian or something that is non-Pacific Islander. Until I speak the same language that we both speak and I go, shit, India, and they get the huge shock on their face like, holy shit, this guy's actually Tongan? So, if anything, I want to pass on is be inspired of the things that we come from. Yes, Balangis are leading the power dynamic over in the West. Be inspired, but a vast majority of the talents that our people held that we are now claiming as unique to us is still translatable to today's world, especially talking shit. Like your mouth, oratory, use it. It's very powerful. And I'll leave it at that. I'm rambling on.
No worries, man. I think the idea said they also call all educated people kaimua. Or they will call you this right? If you're kaimua, even though you're just trying to elevate yourself. Yeah, thank you so much, Taniela. Thank you for sharing that. Let me pass it to you. Savage, what do you think about that? White people, the way Pacific Islanders see white people, trying to, if you try to do things like white people, try to aim, if you want to get the same results with white people, because we see that white people, hey, they have better results than what currently in my life right now. But if you do that, there's a lot of, there's a perception of how Pacific Islander people would take that if somebody tries to go outside their culture to do the things that white people are doing so they can get ahead. What's your thoughts about that, Savage?
Can you guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm only going to speak from my experience, but, just to be politically correct here on the topic, white, Caucasian, European descent, whatever. They've been the foremost teachers in my life. I've never not been in a moment where I studied white people, whether it was on TV, in the movies, in the magazines, and they were in everything that I've ever, that was pop culture to me, mainstream here in America. So if you ever wanted to be good at a game, just like any sport or whatever game you participated, you got to see what the winners are doing, especially if the game is geared for them to succeed. You know what I'm saying? I heard the most stupidest thing on TikTok. It's been trending for a while now. But if you sound white or look white or white passing, then you're white. The stupidest fucking concept I've ever heard. But you know what? It does make money, right? Because if you heard me over a phone, hello, sir, my name is Savage Island. I was wondering how I could help you today. You'd be like, oh, wow, that guy sounds professional. Hey, yeah, buddy, I was calling, why is my router? Why is it acting up? My Wi-Fi's off. Can you help me? Yeah, sir, just do me a favor. Go ahead and unplug it, and we'll take the steps from there, right? You would not think for once, like there's a movie about it called Sorry to Bother You, right? But the realism in that is that that's what it takes to, if it makes you feel unauthentic, it makes you feel less of a person, or if it doesn't make you feel real, that your peers are like, oh, he's palangi, he's whitewashed, blackwash. Guess what? Now you're a part of the conversation because they take you serious. And if your peers don't, guess who they run to when shit goes bad? Hey, Savage, please, can you come talk to the police? Because, I'm a fob and I can't talk to them. Oh, now you need me? Now you fucking need me, right? So if being associated with white people is a sign of selling out, well, just as long as you and your family are eating and you can provide, then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because people are going to have their opinions. They're going to perceive you any way they want. But at the end of the day, if you know the truth, then that's as good as it can really get. Don't get me wrong. It feels good to seek the approval of your peers. It does. It feels good when you can go back to your hometown and you hear the whole village be like, "Hey man, hey, I seen you on TV. You're making it, brother. Yeah." But then lo and behold, right behind that is like, fucking sellout. Fuck that guy. It sucks. It just comes with the territory. And if you can't learn to roll with the punches and take it as it comes, you're gonna fuck your mental health up. You're going to. You know what I'm saying? Luckily for me, I'm so visually and audio tuned to.
Oh, I think you talked too much about the white people. They froze the front. It froze the screen. Oh,
What did you hear?
No, you froze. No, for just the last 5 seconds. You froze for the last 5 seconds.
No, but I mean, in all honesty, like if being equated to white people is a sign of disloyalty, but you're at least you're successful, then you know what? Make me as white as you want it. I don't care. Make me as white, because whether it's this, right? Because you want this. Taniela was talking about it, right? Code switching or whatever. Hey guys, how is everyone today, right? And that's with me with the Tongans. And then of course when I'm with my other friends, hey, what's up, y'all? Everybody cool? Everybody good? Cool. And then if I'm with, whatever. And then all of a sudden I'm with, hey, what's up, John? Nice to see you again. Fine weather we're having, right? If you got to do that to just get by and make everybody feel, hey, that's him, that's how we know him, then good. But just know that when you get home, that's where it matters, right? That's where it matters. That's where the peace, that's where the calm, the sincerity, that's where the love is really at, is because you have your home. You worked for that. You made that happen. And no matter what the world's going to say, because the world's going to say it, no matter what, the world's that fucking sellout, you fucking black, you brown, you white piece of shit, fuck you, right? It's written in the stars that will happen. But if your family knows that you tried your hardest and you worked your ass off, can't nobody tell you shit. Right after this, if whatever Will's going to post with these clips, it's already guaranteed that we're going to have more hate than we will positive support. And that's fine. But if one of these clips should make it viral to where it's shared on a million platform, where people are like, hey, these Islanders are saying some profound shit. Tune into the william-nacouzi Kava Club podcast next week at 8 p.m. Well, guess what, motherfucker? Now we went so viral, people are going to value our opinions. There's this guy right now, Andrew Tate, who everybody values his fucking opinion. Why? Because the shit he says makes sense to him, and then he makes it make sense to everybody else, and everybody's vibing to it. For as long as I know, Will, you've been doing that for a fucking long ass time. So I know you're close to your blow up. I know you are. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you stay the course, or any of us stay the course, it just comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? There's not a day I don't get where people are, hey, why the fuck you tell them our stories? That's not for them to know. Stop telling them our business. Oh, okay. So we're supposed to just die with it and then forget it later? Yeah. Get the fuck out of my face, Sione. Fuck you, Sione. So, with that being said, it's tough. It's tough surviving out here. But I know that's where the uniqueness comes from, is that we can do it. With very little, we can make it happen. You give us a little, watch us make a lot. And that's all I have to say about that.
No worries. Thank you so much, Savage. Always appreciate you, man. Man, everybody on the live chat, you guys are going hard on the live chat. Thank you so much. I see you, John Doe, back on the live chat. It said, Will, hey, laughing, crying emoji day. Thank you so much, John Doe. Haven't seen you in a while. And hey, CK, Tauke said something about you, Savage. He said, book it, my young. Thank you so much, CK Tauke. And Kaijo, I think KJ Lola from Facebook said, not a sellout. I'm part white. Oh, so that means you're part sellout. You're good. You're not full sellout. You're part sellout. No worries. Thank you everybody on the live chat. You guys have been a great participation on the live chat. You guys, and I see, EPK Swerve for the first time, seeing the live chat. Shout out to you, man. Man, thank you so much, man. You guys are being great participation in the live chat. Thank you so much. But let me pass it to you, Tui. Tui, I know you went to a white school, white education. What are your thoughts about white people and how we
Not
treat
just
how
that,
here?
not just that, but I went to University of Utah. I got my undergrad from University of Utah, and then I got my master's from BYU. So I am the whitest Polynesian in this fucking panel right now. But I'm so obviously the way that I speak has always been an issue for any Polynesian. Here in Hawaii, kind of a problem because I don't speak pidgin. It's just because we weren't raised like that. And in the mainland, it was always the same problem. I speak like I'm white when I'm on the phone. You're gonna think you're talking to some white bitch who grew up in Reseda, like, but nope. You gotta be a girl that sounds like a Palongi girl. Sorry, guys. But I mean, fuck. Yes. Uh, Realistically, it's easier.
Say it,
Hold
Tui.
on.
Say it. Say it, Tui. Don't think. Just say it.
Say it with your chest.
Listen, it's easier for me to acclimate to white culture because they don't have a culture. It was easier for me to excel in because I worked for Goldman Sachs, and realistically, who do you really want to mirror in those situations? You want to mirror the what? I mean, for me, it was obviously white men because it's obviously a white male field, but you learn a lot more from white people. And the only mistake that I made was I ran with the bag when I learned from the white man, and I never brought it back to the Polynesian people. So I'm trying to make up for it now. But I mean, for everyone who's ever told me that I was feel fall on me, all I have to say, same thing I said then, fuck you, because those are the same fucking people standing there with their fucking hand out asking you for favors. Fuck. What was the question again? Because I'm just gonna go off on a rant. I don't want to go on. Repeat the question. Not like you touched some like you
You
strung some
left
strings
off
there.
on fuck white people. That's where you left off
Yeah,
at.
yeah. Just continue on. Continue on. Don't worry about the question. Just keep saying what you're saying. Fuck the question. Keep going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, white people don't have any culture. Yes, white people are sticks in the mud. They have no rhythm. They culturally appropriate everything, and now it's cool to be one of us to have big ass and big thighs, and they're stealing from us and making money, and we're not doing it ourselves. So, fuck them and let's focus on us. I just want to know what we're gonna do. I really want everyone in the chat and anyone who sees this to not pay any real attention to the color of those motherfuckers' skin and just look at what they're making, where they're living, and where you're living and what you're making. Because the difference is it doesn't matter what color they are. It just matters what they have and what we don't. Uh, I'm sorry. I don't want to. I really don't want to. I don't want to come off like an angry brown woman, but I'm just gonna say it was really hard for me to survive in a white man's world, but I did it, and I have a really large savings, so you should do it too.
All right. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. And hey, I gotta give a shout out to Tui. People don't know one of Goldman Sachs is probably one of the top financial institutions in the world. And we have a Pacific Islander woman on this panel that was working for them. And I gotta give you props for that. For a lot of people may not know what that
Bro,
is.
shit, Tui's so innovative and entrepreneurial. Listen, she runs an underground escort service called Dome and Go. I'm one of the clients.
Our logo is this.
Love it. Love
Boto cream, guys. Boto cream. Pick it up on shelves next year.
it. All right. And I think Too Wonderful said, shout out to Tui. Shout out to Tui. Yeah, shout out to you. Thank you so much, Wonderful, everybody on here. And I agree. I totally agree with what you said. It's not about what the white people are or what color the skin is, what they're doing. That's I think that's for me. It's about getting the results you want out of life. And I think when it comes to success, there's no color to success. There's no gender to success. There's no specific person success. It's just whoever wants to put in the work to get the results they want, so they can achieve it for themselves, and that's it. So it doesn't. When that's. I mean, like I said, when I'm looking at people, majority of the people who I look for is white. That's just the reality. A majority of them are. But like I said, for me, I don't care if it's white, black, Asian. If I can emulate, get the information from them, so I can apply it to my life, so that way I can better myself, my children, my family. Then I don't really care who is it coming from. But unfortunately, in the real world, majority of them are white. Majority of them are white. That's just a fact for everybody out there. And if thank you so much. But yeah, Tui, thank you so much. Taniela and Savage and Tui, we have come to the end of the podcast. And shout out to you guys, everybody in the live chat. Thank you so much. You guys have been a great help, and you guys be participating, sharing your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree. I definitely enjoyed you guys in the live chat tonight, and a lot of you guys did tune in. And yeah, we have come to the end. Thank you so much. I want to get everybody's final thoughts. And John Doe said, "Oh, put me in the debate, Will." Yo, hey John Doe, you already know, man, that the public link is always posted in the live chat. It's on top of it's pinned to the top of the screen, so you're always welcome to be on the podcast, John Doe. And yeah, whenever you want to jump on, just jump on. Maybe on the next podcast, when we come to the end of the show. I think MC Carol 626, a great panel. Hey, thank you so much. Shout out to you. Definitely had some great discussion tonight, and I would say we definitely had some good clips from tonight's podcast. So to all the panel tonight, just be prepared. For your social media might blow up in the next couple of days. So
make me look bad. I just want to be the bad guy. Make me look terrible. Like I want people to assume that I'm calling them out personally.
Hey, good. Hey, I'll say, hey, the shoe fits. The shoe fits. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. But yeah, I'm telling you guys right now. Like I said, I think we're gonna get there. Like I think Savage said, "Hey man, I know for a fact we're gonna make it happen on this podcast." And if you want to jump on the bandwagon, jump on right now, because when we blow up, when we start reaching other platforms, and you see me, Taniela, and Tui started going to different platforms and taking it to the next level, I'm just saying, hey, you missed your chance. But hey, if you want to support us right now, get on the podcast, and also support Savage podcast as well, and the Fraudcast for Tui, and the Intuition, Superstition Intuition for Savage. They have their own podcast. Definitely support them as well. And of course, Taniela. You can always find Taniela if you want to find him. But yeah, we have come to the end. Thank you so much. Let's get to everybody's final thoughts and how can people find you. I'll start with you, Taniela. Final thoughts and how can people find you? What's your takeaway, especially responding so people can finally get some context to that clip that they were triggered by last week. What's your final thoughts on tonight's discussion, Taniela?
Oh man, it's always a pleasure, especially with these two, with Toy and Savage. Again, the opportunity is always appreciated, Will. And with that clip, I knew it was going to trigger a lot of people. But unfortunately, it didn't quite get the reaction that I hoped for, which was to get people to come on and have a conversation face to face. But then again, if we're really looking at it from an identity politics type lens, can we really say that you're colonized? And this is my challenge to you. Our people, when they were challenged with mana, they accepted that challenge and they faced whatever that landscape may be. So if you want to use colonization as a metric of your attack on me on the comment section, I think you're pretty colonized because you won't accept my mana when I challenge you in that clip. So other than that, peace and love to everyone. Again, thank you, Will, for the opportunity. Tui and Savage, always a pleasure being a part of the panel when you guys are on. All
right, no worries, Daniela. Thank you so much. Daniela, don't worry, Daniela. We'll get there, man. We'll get there. I'm telling you, there will be a day when we blow up, and then now everybody wants to come on and be like, hey, You didn't want to jump on this time. Now you want to jump on now. But Daniela, always appreciate you and your perspective on the podcast. Savage, I'll pass it to you. Savage, final thoughts and how can people find you?
Yeah, man. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Type in my name, I'll pop up somewhere. I'm gonna go ahead and write off that mama right now. Listen, I'm gonna provoke the fuck out of our people right now. Okay, so this is gonna be very viral, and you can go ahead and clip it. As far as context goes, right? Context. This is how I know that we're not trying hard enough as a community because none of us will seek the context. You will wait for the 15, 30-second clip and then give your opinion. You won't go look for the full context. So, Tongans, all Tongans all over the world are fucking stupid. And I'm the only smartest one there is in the world. The smartest Tongan that you will ever know in your life. And if you want to challenge me, I dare you to come on the william-nacouzi Gaba Club podcast. Because other than that, you are fucking stupid and nothing else. All right, now with that, go ahead and clip that and watch how they flood. Watch how they flood. Because that's going to provoke the fuck out of you. Other than that, man, I just want to say thank you guys for having me on. Because, you know, the beauty in this is that it may not matter now. It may not. You know, it may be 20 years before it matters. We may die until it matters. You know, it may matter 100 years from now. But somewhere down the line, the groundwork, the foundation, I'm always saying this, right? When this applies for the later generations, for them to look back and be like, hey, man, they were really pioneers. They were really talking about this shit because it applies in that time. We have to make the sacrifice. We have to. We have to be the ones to make the sacrifice, to lay down so the other one can walk over us. And it sucks, but it comes with the territory. And far be it from me to tell anybody else they're stupid or dumb and not give context in why. And the only reason why I did that was to prove this. Should any of these people be provoked and come looking for the context, then it lets me know you're trying. You're trying. You're not just on here trying to be hateful, negative because you're good at it, but because you're seeking an outlet. And that outlet is here. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? We're not just trying to be out here talk shit and make everybody be mad. We want you to come and talk so we can figure out the solutions. Other than that, my name is Savage Island. I want to thank everyone here. Well, it's always an honor and a pleasure, brother. And to everybody in the live chat, thank you guys too, even the haters. But yeah, man, I can't wait till the next time. So with that being said, ofalayatu and God bless.
Thank you so much, Savage. Savage, I'm gonna just clip that and just see. I'm gonna see what people are gonna do. Like, are they really gonna come? You know, it'd be crazy how you just said something for 15 seconds. Like, you didn't really say anything. You just
fucking do it. What? Tongans are too prideful not to. Tongans are too prideful not to. Toko, you know this. Watch them come. What they say in the Bible, they said if you build it, they will come. They're going to come. Trust me.
All right. We'll make it happen. We'll see. I'm going to clip that and definitely see how everybody's going to do tonight. And C2 Wonderful said, I'm going to get with some Balangi girls this weekend and promote the Polynesian desire. All right. Too Wonderful. Do your thing, man. All right. Do your thing. Promote that Polynesian desire. But last but not least, yeah, what's your final thoughts and how can people find you?
Well, thank you for having me on here, even though I am constantly late, and the last time I didn't even show up because I was busy. But to all of my Polynesian people who are watching and will watch this, we are an incredible group of people. Intelligent, really, really good looking, and very innovative. And I am harsh on my own people because I expect more. I expect more from us. We are capable of so many things, and I've seen it with a handful of Polynesians. And it's tough for me to say that it's just a handful, and that's all I've seen, because I have known incredibly intelligent Polynesians throughout my entire life, and they are the great almost. They talk about how great things would have been if they shoulda, coulda, woulda, but didn't. There are tools and resources for every single one of you to be successful in your own way, and you don't have to be extremely wealthy. You don't have to be, fucking Beyonce and Jay-Z rich, but there is more to what there's more in wealth that that's out there for you than you can really imagine. So do the research. Everyone has Google. Really, you can even Google how do I get rich. It will give you pages of options. Pick one. And as far as the Balangi thing goes, they're just pink Samoans. Okay, don't give them a hard time, guys, because realistically, every single race is Samoan. Light-skinned, dark-skinned, even Tongans are Samoan. This is Tui from the podcast. Peace out, guys.
All right. She dropped the mic, y'all. She dropped the mic and she out. All right. Thank you so much for everybody. Thank you so much, everybody, in the live chat. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We do this every single Wednesday, so you get the notification that we go live next week with new topic and new panel. Taniela Savage, always a pleasure. Thank you guys so much.
Ofa Toko. Ofa.
All right, guys. Peace, y'all. Everybody in the live chat. Ofa. All right.